we up the tempo. Shawty got no choice but to get low. Ain't the tallest, but I'm ballin' like I'm 6'4". Yeah, life I live, I was meant for. It's simple, if we up the tempo. Shawty got no choice but to get low. Ain't the tallest, but I'm ballin' like I'm 6'4".
Old school, new school. You know what it is. You know who it is.
OG Lee in the house. Once again. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness, man. Hey, it's old school, new school.
Old school.
UNDE, OG Lee, best father-son podcast in America.
Wednesday. We were in the merry, merry month of October.
And
getting ready. You giving out Halloween candy?
I want to, but I feel like people might stop by. I don't know if people. It's like more of a trunk or treat type.
They say you gotta keep your light on your front porch. Yeah. So we'll do that this year and see what happens. But anyway, I'm gonna beat you to it, man.
Who are the sick people that are like, oh, let me put razor blades in my candy? Remember that used to be a thing? Like, oh,
the same sick people that start wars and do all that other stuff, man.
How much extra?
We
so
just
much
living
extra
amongst sickness. So it's best to just keep it tight. People just have tight parties. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows what the kid is getting. It's terrible. But before we go any further, man, I got to shout out my man Tommy. One of the first official schoolies.
Schoolie.
Man,
an OG schoolie member.
Got him a
officially
hoodie.
Stamped.
Got him a hoodie. Yo, check him out right here.
Mm-hmm. You check him out.
Got that hoodie, man.
Shout out Tommy, man.
He's gonna be the official schoolie. So let history record that, man. That he's the first original schoolie.
Shout out,
original.
That is real.
So yeah, how you doing? I'm beating you to it this time. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Life is throwing lemons. I'm trying to make some lemonade. It's a little tart. That motherfucker tart right now.
But what you gotta do, man, if you down with culture, to take away some of that tartness, you add just a little bit more water and about 12 cups of sugar in that motherfucker. And everybody will love that shit, boy. You will be selling out. Making you a lemonade stand.
The sugar in that tank. Chill out, man. I ain't got that much sugar in my tank. Life is trying to
can't make no lemonade in our culture, man, because that shit's got to be sweet.
You got to do it.
That shit has got to be sweet. That's what good lemonade is.
I've seen some crazy Kool-Aid made in my day for sure. Yeah. Just mountains of sugar.
That's one of the staples.
Where the sugar's making a noise for a second a little bit. Chill out.
And then you be stirring like a motherfucker and you look, damn, still all that sugar at the bottom. But at least on the tail end, you can add sugar, when things get tight.
Diabolical. But yeah, hey, I like that analogy, man. Add a little water to it, man. Really, just a little water might do it.
Not in real life, but in Kool-Aid life. In real life, you got to add some more ingredients. Something got to give, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Shake and shiver. Shake and move, juke and jive.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
NBA tip-off, though, the other night.
I really do think, man, this is some random shit, but I'm just thinking
Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. Pause.
Man, where you have the sledgehammers and people could just bust shit up. I think we'd be on to something if we started that business, too.
Come on.
And then right next door, we have the robotic hose and shit.
Oh, we got a bang for your buck.
There we are.
But hey,
that's funny, man. If you didn't catch that,
the anger room, or what you could call it, or maybe a stress chamber is what we would go for. That's definitely easy money.
Yeah,
Find things off the street.
Just let people bust them up. Boom. Yeah, we just have to find the space, man. And that's done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
easy peasy.
That's how you keep shit being okay. Because everybody, a lot of times, when you say, "How you doing?" Everybody, fine.
But you can release some stress for sure.
Yeah.
Because if you're not, it's like, you could, I guess talking about it definitely does help. But that's kind of what we're doing right here. So we're going to powwow about it with our schoolie gang, man.
Yeah, man. Something I wanted to tell the schoolie gang, man.
Tell the schoolies. Let the schoolies know.
Man. I forget what it is. And let me see. I'll turn on my phone here. But anyway, I know that you wanted to talk about something, but I wanted to say, what I was saying was the main thing, and that is, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. Yeah. But I wanted to say this to you, man, to pass this on.
Mm-hmm.
That desperate people do desperate things. And I'm going to come back to that a little bit later on, maybe at least a couple of times, to remind you to keep that in your bag. You know what I'm saying?
Keep that in your bag.
Desperate people do desperate things. Because sometimes you hear something so outlandish. That's the SAT one right there. And you be thinking, no, they didn't do that, man. He couldn't have did that. He would never, she would never. Always remember, maybe they wouldn't do that under normal circumstances, but they could be desperate.
Start getting desperate.
And desperate people do what?
Desperate things.
Amen. Keep that in your bag.
They do that. Interesting. But ironically, that kind of what I just put in my bag.
Speaking of desperate people, you voting for Kamala Harris? But go ahead.
We can get back to that. But this brought to me, desperate people do desperate things. Sometimes I start think of different things, but it brought to me, man, the good old word of the day.
Oh my God!
Nice and early. Nice and
Early.
early word of the day.
The day.
And the word of today.
Word of the day.
The word of the day is
word of the day.
Reprehensible.
Now that is reprehensible.
Now reprehensible, defined as deserving censure or condemnation.
I'm trying to picture somebody using that word. Reprehensible. Okay.
The desperate act that this desperate person took was reprehensible from the normal course of action.
If I had to grade that,
What I get out that one? What would I get? Come on, man. I think I got a D last semester.
That C plus to that B minus. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Reprehensible.
On the come up, man. On the come up. But you talk about Kamala Harris. It's election time.
Yeah.
What would you say kind of changes the most around this time of year?
If you pay attention, infrastructure a lot of times.
In regards to what exactly?
Streets, whatever paving they're going to do, whatever type of fixing they're going to do. They usually try to do the topical stuff. You know what I'm saying? That I do notice. And in some cities, the police crack down. I know they used to do that back in the day
like
all
crime?
the time. Yes. So that, you go into the election with people feeling like,
What's coming in, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah, crime has been, or the current, the current, whoever's in there in office now, the incumbent. They think that they're doing a good job. Perceive it that way, because perception is reality.
Absolutely.
That's another one I'll just throw in there. I'm not going to charge you for that one. Perception is reality until something else happens.
Ooh,
which would be reality.
Dropping gems out here, man. Perception is reality. And desperate people do desperate things.
Can you think of a time that a desperate person did something desperate that you know about, or maybe even yourself, without giving too much away?
Let's see, a desperate situation. Trying to think of a
even as a kid. Do you remember? I can remember as a kid one desperate.
Give me one, and I bet I can follow one up with a solid one.
One time, man, and my man Tommy is the only dude alive who could verify this situation, man. One time I went to always been a gambler, man. I went to a shopping center at that time called Delancey Street. And I was playing 3-card money and lost.
Big money?
I mean, at that time, it was like $60. So that was like back in 78 or whatever. So that was, it was school clothes money and shit. That's why, we were down on Delancey. So anyway, I got, flim-flammed out of my money. And so I hadn't bought any clothes. So I was like so desperate, man, that, I was trying to think of what I could do. So by the time we got around the way, I tried to snatch a pocketbook. and almost got caught. Almost got, didn't get no money. And I should have known anyway. I came from uptown to come downtown and try to snatch a pocketbook.
Yeah.
You know, so the lady didn't have no money.
Come on.
But anyway, and I never even did get away with it, you know. She was holding on for dear life. But anyway, so we didn't
drag style?
No.
Okay.
She was a younger kind of
not
lady,
so savage.
you know, she wasn't ready.
That makes it better.
Hispanic lady too, so she didn't give it up. But anyway, so yeah, I was so desperate, man, and we didn't get caught. Thank goodness, because some guys did chase us, you know, ultimately. So we didn't get caught.
Well,
But,
okay, hold on.
Situation, big time, man. Where I felt like I had to get this money back because I lost my money uptown.
And y'all got chased down. You said?
Yeah, I told you this story before. I think when I was telling you, we went through the alley and we ended up going under the last car. And these guys, it was about 6 cars in that alley.
Movie
They
scene,
checked
I
it because we
remember
could
that now.
see them under. We were laying under the car. They checked every car but that one. So that was just grace. You know what I'm saying? But Tommy knows that situation for sure because he was the only. It was me and him, and he was always. We always used to call Tommy slow when he was running. But that day there was nothing slow about him. You know what I'm saying?
Took off.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
That was most definitely a time of
That's like a
desperation.
good. This is like a therapy session right here. These might be repressed thoughts, but you know, I've definitely in college have definitely went for the theft aspect in desperation. You know what I mean? Get some food. I've plenty of sports betting. I guess would definitely be desperation. You know, on some gambling, trying to
Especially
win more money
once
than
you've
you got.
lost and you're trying to recover.
Thousands. You know what I mean?
Trying to recover.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that would be something that
Absolutely.
would be interesting for you to cover with people, you know, because a lot of times the average person thinks that certain things only happen to other people. It's always this thing of, oh, that couldn't happen to me. That couldn't happen to me.
Man. I'm far
and
from
a lot
flawless.
of times before you know it, they find themselves in that situation. So it's important to talk about that stuff, and that we may have to have where we take out a segment of the episode.
Yeah.
You know, and talk about sports gambling or gambling in period.
For sure. I'm one of them. I'll be sports gambling.
And I'm one
I went
of those
crazy
that
last year,
teaches
boy.
moderation as opposed to saying just don't do it. Because I'm of the thought that people are always going to do stuff like that. You know what I mean? And so the idea is to not let it take you over. You know what I'm saying? Just like if you decide you want to use some kind of substance or alcohol or
Moderation.
whatever.
Everything
the
in
idea
moderation.
would be moderation.
Come on.
I don't know if we don't need to discuss the definition of moderation. I don't think. I think our schoolies know what moderation is, right?
But put them on a little bit. At least give them the layman's.
It's just basically don't do too much. You know what I'm saying? Always keep it to where you in control.
Take it easy.
Take it easy.
In the words,
Easy, man.
in the words of the great Ali Sadiq, Cadillac. Come on, man, Cadillac.
He's a funny guy, man. I
He
don't
is.
even have to tell people about him. I'm sure everybody knows about him.
Might be the best storyteller.
But
Maybe
you'll be
at the top 5
surprised.
for sure.
You'd be surprised of the people that wouldn't know him. You know what I'm saying? You just think they do. But yeah, very
Shouts
funny
out,
dude, man.
Ali Sadiq.
Give some good prison stories and shit, man. You know, and got to be careful about that. Because a lot of people nowadays, even before, man, brothers used to want to, and still do if they about that life, they want to go to prison, believe it or not, just to go through that rites of passage as it is in our culture. You know what I mean?
If you're on some real shit, you know what I mean, that's a part of it, which is terrible.
It is, because once you get in that situation, you realize, man, that shit ain't for the average person.
It's like once people are really into it, like the crime, like money to bond out of, you know, we already know what's gonna happen. Like, who's gonna hold some, or is it even worth it? Type.
I'm telling you, for the average person, it's not worth it. It's only, just like anything, it's only usually like if you get like what they call those pyramid schemes or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You're like, wow, that shit is only working for the people at the top, you know what I mean? By the time it gets to you, everything's all played out or whatever.
Jeez,
So
that's another
it's
deep
hard,
one right there,
it's
man.
hard to explain, man. But
The streets are a pyramid scheme too, boy.
yeah, man.
Oh
You
my
get about that
gosh.
life when you don't have other things to fill in. You know what I'm saying? Before you know it, you adopt that as a family. Before you know it, you got tattoos all over you.
Guess
and you
what?
repping.
And
you
then
know
guess
I'm saying?
what?
What's that?
Desperate people start doing desperate things, bro. Oh la.
And sometimes you could be made to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? If you down, you know, on the totem pole, and somebody up here gives an order for you to do boom, 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 you know what I'm saying? You get yourself into a whole lot of shit. So it's best to try to avoid that, man. If you ain't, as they say, about that life.
If you ain't about that life,
and your mama don't want that. You know what I'm talking about?
No, it ain't right. Hey.
And you never disrespect your mama. You know what I'm saying? You know, I heard this, man. This to bring my boy up again. And people said there's footage of it where Puffy slapped his moms.
Slap like a real one?
Yeah, his real moms.
Like,
you know his mom is passed now.
Oh, I thought she was alive, honestly.
No, she passed like...
Recently?
No. Puffy mom probably about like 5 years, seemed like it been or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Maybe even more than that.
That's kind of recent, though.
Maybe even more than that. But anyway, yeah, they said, you know, he had a beef with his mom. I think the guy Gene Deal, who used to be his bodyguard, said that he had slapped his mama. You do some shit like that, that's some foul shit, man. You got something coming to you, you slap your mama. Now, you could punch your mama.
Open hand, if it's open hand.
You can elbow your mama. But you don't slap your mama.
If there's no mark now, you can
hit her with the palm of your hand.
Oh, Lord.
No, Lord. You got to respect. Give your mama that respect. That's a word you could say.
RESPCK?
And get away with it. Respect.
I respect it. Mm-hmm. I respect it. Hey, and if you respect it, I respect it. If you cool with me, you can come school with me.
Subscribe.
Like, comment,
you know what was so
subscribe.
funny, man, when I was stationed in England, right?
What happened?
The white people say the word together, and it's like normal, colloquial or whatever.
Together?
Yeah, together. And I always thought that was weird. In England, yeah, together. A couple other ones too, I forget them now.
This is kind of like an accent, eh? That wouldn't be colloquial.
No, that shit.
We got to properly
I know
school
if a
our
nigga
schools.
say it, they say he don't know how to talk English.
Over in England too, or no? Or they're like, oh, he's trying to talk like one of them.
They didn't pay attention to us enough to know that how we talk, how we pronounce shit.
Over there?
Yeah. At the time I was there, I mean, nobody knew about how niggas was pronouncing shit.
Not enough case studies.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something that was weird though, man. And this is in the books somewhere. But
lots of studies being done.
Back in the 70s, even the 60s, and on up even into the early 80s, the islanders, especially like Jamaicans and West Indians, that were coming back from England, were coming back and becoming schizophrenic. That was a pattern, because the Jamaicans, like the Puerto Ricans, you know what I'm saying? They could go to England because England had colonized them and all of this, so they were under British rule until 72 or 74, whatever, right? So they could go to Britain. Uh-huh. And,
from where exactly?
From Jamaica.
Okay, so I'm with you. I'm a little lost, but I think
some of them did. And a lot of them that were coming back, especially the males, they were coming back with being schizophrenic. I never did finish up on.
Oh, I thought you were gonna have some correlation for me, bro.
They don't know. I don't know if they ever found out, but they were doing a study, to find out what was the
from
correlation.
Jamaica.
Going from when the Jamaicans would go to England.
Okay, Jamaica to England on their route back from England to Jamaica. Or England?
It's not their route back.
Oh, just when they return?
No.
Okay.
I mean, when they return, but
that's
based
when they would
on what went on in their lives while they were in England.
I got you, right. But I'm saying they would go there, and when they come back, they're like, then they kind of turn, or they say once they come back.
Well, once they come back, people start noticing, man, what the fuck's wrong with Delroy and shit? You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker's acting a little crazy. He's eating ducks and shit like that.
Recent, or this is like a throwback study?
Well, it was actually happening because Jamaicans weren't just pouring into England in the 60s, but it started picking up as airline travel and all of that started, where they could go there. So during the 60s and the 70s, the ones that were going there, but especially the males, when they were going back to Jamaica, they were, having episodes of schizophrenia.
That's interesting.
But it's on the book somewhere. Maybe they did ultimately come up with some correlation. But yeah, that's on the books. I just thought about that, when I thought about the blood clot. You know,
60s, I could only imagine what was going on.
60s,
They definitely got it documented.
Yeah, when they were dealing with racism and all that kind of stuff that they were dealing with in what would be their mother country, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Their mother country.
Mother cunt. Oh,
hey,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Hey, but this is old school, new school.
Subscribe.
If you are cool with me, you can come school with me. You can like, comment, subscribe. OG Lee, you in the E. We gonna take us just a little woo-sa-wasi.
Desperate people do what?
They do desperate things, man.
Desperate people do what?
They do desperate things. Hey, school
right
the gang.
Right on time.
If you cool with me, come school with me. We gonna be right back. Hey, and we are back.
Back up on the scene.
Back
let's give a little toe. Boom.
From a little woo side, back in the scene. But hey, you hit me with one of those things like you do.
What was that?
Sent me a picture in the middle of the day.
Oh my God.
And like this is something we talking about. This is on the pod. It was some ketchup. We might be able to pull it up here. But you sent me this. What am I supposed to do with this, bro?
Man.
What does that mean exactly?
This is something that goes on all the time. I go over and I see the ad, right? Mm-hmm. On the bottom, right on the bottom of the price, I see that they're advertising that you could buy this particular product and it's this amount. If you buy 5 or more, it's this amount. So I said, man, what a good deal. It happened to be Heinz Ketchup. Mm-hmm. And this is Kroger, by the way. Happened to be Heinz Ketchup. So I said, wow, 5 bottles or 5, whatever you call them, of Heinz Ketchup, 99 cents for a 20-ounce bottle. I thought, what a good deal. I thought it was too good to be true. But I looked, and right under it, literally, 99 cents if you buy 5 or more. I looked real close. But I did notice that the thing said Hunt's Ketchup. And what I was looking at right above it was Heinz Ketchup. So I thought, well, maybe they made a mistake. Let me check even the size. The size matched up. The size of the ketchup, the tag, 20 ounce.
They tried to get you.
But the sign, the little tag said Hunt's. So I thought maybe Hunt's and Heinz was one of the same because it's literally right under it. Mm-hmm. So anyway,
so what was the Heinz hitting for? $2.99?
I'm with my wife. And so once we get up there, I'm doing something else. So she starts putting the stuff up on the register, goes through, and I go and I pay it. And I thought, shit, damn, because it came to like $52. And we just stopped in to get a couple of things. Mm-hmm. So I thought, damn, that's a little high, but what the hell? Shit is high nowadays. But then once I got out by the car, I looked and I said, damn, they got me 5 for $3.99.
Oh, 3.
I said, oh, man, that's fucked up, man, because I know I looked at it twice, 3 times. And I said, man, they got me. And it was about time for the service desk to close, so I said I'll go tomorrow. But I was just, showing the picture to show, man, that anybody would have thought that those ketchups were 99 cents if you buy 5 or more.
But you said you read it as Hunt's, not Heinz.
But just on the little tag, but it was still literally directly under that. So I thought maybe Hunt's and Heinz was one and the same company. Because especially when I checked the size, it matched up. And literally right under it. But my point is, they do that bait and switch all the time.
Marketing.
Because just like, no, that's not marketing. That's fucking fraud. That ain't no marketing. Because when you got that like that, anybody, and see, when you go in there, Kroger is a supermarket. Not just a market, it's a supermarket. Meaning it's got all kind of shit. You go in there and buy 20, 30, 40 things at a time. You don't know when they're scanning them, you're not watching, and you don't even remember sometimes what the price was that you did. You just know you picked it up on a deal or whatever it is, and you're going to trust that their system is working, that they did the inventory and their skewing is all right? Mm-hmm. But trust. Then when you get the receipt and you look, you'll see a lot of times that shit is not right. Just like that, they did the bait and switch. And when I went to bring that back today, the guy happened to be by the service desk. He's like, oh, that happens to be my department. And he's like, man, these workers nowadays, some of them can't read and half of them so lazy they don't put stuff in the right place. I said, look, that's a good excuse, but that doesn't help the customer for you to say, hey, they put it in the wrong place. So instead of you getting that for 99 cents, hey, once we gets up here at the cash register, we do that bait and switch shit and you pay $3.99. That's a big difference between 99 and $3.99.
Quadruple.
Right? And then if you buy 5 of them, like the thing says, that means you spent $15 more than you had to. And I know there's a lot of people that just picked it up based on looking at that thing being right under that product. And it's not the first time. That's why I'm bringing this up now for people to watch that shit. Because this is not the first time. As a matter of fact, every time I go into a Kroger, they be doing this shit. And this shit is not no marketing. That shit should be against the law. And when a customer points that out, there should be something that they should be able to get for them making that supposed mistake. You know what I'm saying?
Is there a Hunt's ketchup?
I don't know, because that's another thing. If I looked all around, everywhere close, there was no Hunt's ketchup. So I'm immediately saying, okay, where was this supposed to be anyway? Because that's the first thing I thought. Where is this supposed to be? Where's the Hunt's one that's 99? Nowhere around. So that's made me say, well, maybe the Hunt's and the Heinz is kind of the same, same shit, one and the same. But yeah, it didn't do that. It didn't, ring up like that. But I'm telling you, these supermarkets do that shit on purpose, man.
I believe it.
Do that shit on purpose, because a lot of times, even if you catch it once you're at the house, man, you don't go right back, and before you know it, you done forgot and all of that type of shit. So that's fraud, man. That is some fraud. But anyway, that's what makes people, I guess, steal from the stores and shit like that or whatever. Getting back at them.
Desperate people do desperate things,
and
man.
that is, the stores are not desperate. I don't know why they do that, because I'm telling you, that is no accident that happens. So just be on the lookout for that, man, because that could cost you more than you think.
Make sure you don't get got.
And I was right. You know what I'm saying? When I thought about it and said, damn, $52, that seemed like a bit much. No wonder, because if it was $15 more,
you hit for
than it
5
was
of them
supposed to
boys.
be, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, there's tricks. That's one thing in America, man,
That'll
you gotta be on the lookout for.
But hey, that bell ring right there.
We free.
Bell ring right there.
We free. Thank God Almighty, we free.
That is the indication of a good old mind crusher.
Man, you better have something good for me today, or you and your mind crushers are going right out the door head first, man.
Jazzy Jeff style. Hey, this one is titled "The Right Thing to Do."
Man, I think we did this one, man.
We already done this one?
I think so. It sounds like it, unless there's another one that's about right thing to do. Go through it though. Let me see.
What do you think it is? If it's the right thing to do. Let's go with a different one off the top.
I want to see how much I remember just from the first sentence.
First sentence?
Yeah.
So you're taking a dump at a friend's house.
Oh, we just did that.
We did that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you leave some skid marks and shit. Man, you ain't doing no shuffling. See, you like the people in Vegas. You try to trick people with your cars.
That was
trying to bring the same numbers up and shit like that.
I thought it was new. Hey,
you
apologies, bro. Yeah. I got a new one I know we haven't done, which I haven't even. I usually kind of preview them a bit. This one says, fittingly, a poem about democracy.
Damn. There's no such thing.
We can all agree that the average person is stupid. We can all agree that politics is complicated. We can all agree that stupid people have a difficult time with complicated things. So why are we so convinced that democracy is such a great idea?
Whoever said democracy is a great idea, but now they were real clear in saying that they think that we think that most people are stupid. I don't necessarily agree with that.
The average person?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that they're stupid. I wouldn't say it in public anyway.
Yeah. I think we could agree on it, though.
But the thing is, things are being run the way they're being run from the top down anyway. It's not like we got, because of the democracy, that's actually what's being done. You know what I'm saying? You see all these people standing in line right? They going in there voting, right? And so, for instance, as I always say, in this state, I mean, if you're a Democrat, I mean, really, you're just wasting your vote for president. Maybe your other ones for local shit might matter, but for president, you're just throwing it out the window. But there's a lot of people that don't even understand that, don't even know that, don't even understand about the electoral college, for instance, right? And don't even understand how your vote is being cast, for instance, in Central Arkansas, but it also is measured up against every other vote, right? And the majority of the votes in Arkansas from the different counties are always Republican. Historically, it's always been. I mean, since the fucking 19th century or whatever, right? So nothing has been changing about that lately. So when you go in there and really saying, hey, I'm voting for, Kamala Harris, it makes no sense if you're in Central Arkansas and you're voting for Kamala Harris. I mean, okay. But in the end, this is
taking a year for 100 years, taking an L for 100 years.
So that is the democracy. And see, the thing is, all of this is run by people, right? So for people who know about gerrymandering, which is changing the district lines and whatever to where you basically are messing with the vote based on how you saying the populace is and all of this shit, the size of it.
Called it gerrymandering?
Yes, constantly changing the lines, the territorial lines, where the people vote, so that you can skew it and what have you to go a certain way. So anyway, when you think about that, and that's being done by people, that's always going to be done for people to manipulate votes, right? And so the people who are in power are going to always stay in power. So you think you have a democracy, but you really don't have a democracy. That's just, again, I said perception is reality. People perceive that they have a democracy. There's no democracy. And I don't blame the people with money. I wouldn't let, I wouldn't let stupid people or powerless people run me. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing democratic about, even when you look at the election, right? The average person can't run because it takes money, first of all, right? Millions of dollars to try to contend to be the president. First of all, even if you're intellectual enough. So, but either way, that's not democratic. You know what I mean? And just in talking about that, on a side note, but that's very important as far as people not understanding, which is the idea of lobbying, right?
Come on, break it down a little bit. Break it down.
If we have a lobby that supports our causes, right, and the lobby has donated a lot of money to put us in office, then that means we gotta go in lockstep with the lobby, with what the lobby is basically telling us or not really the lobby, but they're part of lobbying, but the political action committee or whatever that's formed, right? We got to do what they tell us. Otherwise, they do what? We're going to run somebody against you. We're going to take our millions, and you're already dead once they do that. We're going to take our millions and run them against you. You see what I'm saying?
How many millions do you think in a presidential campaign?
I don't think it's millions. I think it might even ultimately be billions. Yeah.
Once it gets down to I'm talking about, senator is, trying to do their presidential race.
Oh.
That initial campaign trail.
Well, I mean, millions. But I mean, at this level,
how many we talking? 2, 3, 10?
Probably, if the average person that's running for president, they probably by the time, from start to finish. And if you look at the average person, see, Kamala Harris, she just took over for my man after he dropped out, right? But normally they start campaigning 2 years before, right? So if you go from start to finish, man, for the ones that make it, of course, they drop out as they're going along. And that's usually why. They run out of people that are giving them money. So you could probably look at that guy who ultimately, or that lady who ultimately makes it going from start to finish, they probably spend, $25 million or something like that. Yeah. And then now, see, if you look 25. At it, they're spending more when you think about, because you heard them say Elon Musk gave the Republicans, I think, $75 million, and then they said Bill Gates gave the Democrats $50 million. and I guess it all amounts to these commercials. They're flying around that they got to do, telling people lies and all this kind of stuff. So there's nothing democratic about that, because, the average person can't afford to run. And again, who would that? You got to do something to separate the men from the boys, right? So it's the money, And now, for people to look at it, then we'll get off of this. But the research from this is to look at political action committees and to look at, the whole idea of lobbying, which would have to do with connections, right? So that somebody who comes out of office, like a senator or whatever, or a representative, they then, after a certain time, a year or something, they then can start becoming a lobbyist. And they got all the inside poop on everything, right? So now they know exactly how everything works, and it's just a money thing. Whoever has the money is going to be listened to, and that I get that. So how can it be a democracy?
Money makes things get moving.
Yeah, but it's just the idea that you're going to give people, that perception that we're free. And it's a democracy, but at the same time, you got to get a passport to travel. So, and then don't try to do anything with your money on an international basis. They got to know your whole life story.
Where'd this come from?
And
how many kids are you going to have by 2023?
And that's why they shut crypto down. Crypto's coming back, and they thinking Trump is going to bring it back. But through regulation, they were able to shut down just about every crypto exchange, man.
Crazy.
Yeah. Over the
who's
last
doing
5
that,
years.
like the FDIC?
No, not the FDIC, but
SEC?
whatever the FC. No, I forget what. I don't
Security
know the
Exchange Commission.
SEC. There we go.
SEC,
There we. They got so many fucking acronyms, but yeah, SEC. They shut it down just through regulatory type shit, But that's something now that they just said is that think on this very subject, that the crypto companies are pouring money. That was today's news, as a matter of fact, that the crypto companies are now pouring money into the election to the tune of millions, right? So again, who can deal with that? That's the average Joe, right? So the bottom line is, which is common sense, if you give money to something, who do you think, if your candidate prevails, who do you think they're going to listen to? The person who gave them some money, or you who just gave them a vote? They don't even know that your vote counted, and you're just one in millions. You know what I'm saying?
That just made me randomly think, how New School does, just off topic, off the cuff. But say you got $1 million, and they gave you 72 hours to, spend it up. It's got to be bought down to zero. You don't keep anything.
Oh, so you got to buy something?
Or not necessarily buy it, but spend it. You're not gonna get to keep it after the 72 hours. Spend it up. What you doing?
I'm not gonna get to keep it?
It's gone. You just get to use it as much as you want for 72 hours.
I probably.
But you can't keep the things maybe that whatever you did in that 72 hours.
Oh, you can or you can't? I can.
Can no real estate.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna just put it in my grandkids' name, and after this contest or whatever it is over, then it's mine because it's my grandkids now. They didn't say nothing about that. So I'm gonna give it to my grandkids.
How you gonna transfer it though exactly?
They said I could do whatever with it, right? So I'm gonna open up in just any account because I'm gonna do something with it after this is over with. But just for now, I'm gonna put it in their name because they said I could do.
How you gonna do that though? Come on,
I'm just saying. They said I could have it, right?
Right, but
right, then I open up an account with it
for your grandkid. All right,
yeah,
they would have to be of age, of course, to
for what they
get
can
an
get
account.
To do what for account? You could open up an account for anybody.
Yeah,
they won't be able to do nothing with it themselves until they're 18.
But you would still be on the account, so boom,
I'll put it in. Like I said, my point is I put it in somebody else's name first of all, because I don't want to buy no material shit with it right away. You know what I'm saying? So I just put it in their name until I think about what I want to do with it. But in the meantime,
What you gonna do with
I
it?
have the money.
In the meantime, in these 72 hours when it's gonna be gone, what's one thing you gonna do?
That's the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna establish an account, put it in their name, and then I'm gonna wait after the 72 hours.
But you're gonna have to be on the account, which would still kind of make the money yours.
I'm telling you, I'm not being on the account. I'll put it in your name. I'll put it in anybody's name. Because the point is, because you said no real estate, for instance, right? So I don't really want to buy a Lamborghini or all this type of shit like that. Because I want to, make sure that I'm not going to be without that million again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it in somebody else's name.
Make sure you keep it, eh?
I'm going to put it in somebody else's name. If they say I couldn't keep it in my name, they didn't say nothing about somebody else's. So I put it in somebody else's. And then once the 72 hours is over, even though I'm still leave it in there for a good little minute until I really think about what I want to do with it. But that's the first move I'm going to make is just get it in the family trust type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Put it in the trust.
Yeah. What would you do with it, man?
That wouldn't be an option, like I'm saying. But
that wouldn't be. So you didn't say that though. Did you literally say I had to buy something material?
No, not.
All right then. So
I didn't say you necessarily had to, but whatever you're putting it into, your name would still be on it in some way.
I don't understand why. I have bought stocks for my granddaughter and put it in your name. What's the difference? Here, I don't get it. I don't get the deal. I'll do the same thing. Open up an account, or really the accounts are already there. Put it in that account. Boom, my name's not on it. Mm-hmm. So literally, but if I just had to buy something, because $1 million really is not that much.
It's not.
But
72 hours.
First thing I'd probably buy is an RV. If I just had to buy some shit, I'd probably buy me a nice RV.
Okay. Okay.
And then I don't know. It's just not my nature, man, to spend it all, because I'd be like, damn, I'm looking like I'm on Temu. They be shopping like a millionaire, and then I ain't really got all that to back me up and shit. You know what I'm saying? So before you know it, you got all this shit, but nigga, you broke. No, so I would prefer. If I had to, I'd buy some shit, but I'd be like, one way or the other, I'd be trying to save something so I would never fall off. You know what I'm saying?
Got to. Never go back to where you started. But hey, we got A Green behind the scene. If we could pull up this little video, man, I got intrigued, a little inspired, a little, a little bit was going on when I saw this here, but my man,
put some bass in your voice, man.
My man might be a different, he kind of check him out right here, a before and after of this right here.
Who is this?
See
Rick
how
Ross?
you feeling? I don't know who this is. This is an overweight guy.
Rick Ross made this shit look good. Not that it looked good. He made it say that. I guess
check him out.
He normalized it. That's the one thing about that weight, man, is that once you lose it, now this guy, he's not looking too bad, but have you ever seen a woman when she loses this weight like this?
Yeah, like in that stomach area, it's crazy.
Now I wonder, did he do any surgeries, you think?
Doesn't look like it.
Well, I'm telling you, after surgery, these people that lose weight, a lot of it, it's not one surgery. A lot of times they go through like crazy. 5 and 8 surgeries, man. That's why I'm asking, because a lot of times that weight the skin doesn't even look that good. His legs look just fine. It's just his. That was him right there, huh?
How much did he give a weight? How much he lost?
Look at him. He's in there working more. Yeah.
What is it? 200 pounds?
Yeah. I don't know why, but when I first saw him, I thought of like Egypt, like an Egyptian person or some shit where their skin was like that and they're older. I don't know what. It's just a random thought. I thought Egypt, but fucking Egyptian.
Egypt, those pyramids are crazy. They probably had some big people.
I salute the guy, man. That's a lot of weight, man.
What are you thinking? How much weight is that? 120, 150?
I'm gonna say he probably lost. Yeah, I'd say maybe I give him 2, maybe. Cause that belly right there is 80 pounds by itself, man. Belly's a motherfucker, man.
The skin. Yeah, I get it.
Did he lose the beard? Did he lose the beard? Because the beard is about 5 pounds and shit.
He knocked me off. The water bottle, that's about a good 3.
Yeah, and then his legs. A lot of times, man, when you see men, their legs don't really just blow up. Their legs be all right. They be usually from the waist up.
Mm-hmm. I wonder how long he been working.
Nigga probably took him. I'm gonna say that took him. I'd say 36 months.
30? Oh, sorry, 3 years.
Yeah. Something like that.
I was thinking 4 or 5ish.
4 or 5 years?
Like a long finance period.
He had to have seen some results, you know what I'm saying, to keep going, to not be frustrated. And even though he probably didn't see results for a while, he had to be, persistent to keep going and do some shit like that.
And look, even in positive situations, desperate people, hey, they do desperate things. Come on, man.
Sometimes for the good.
Sometimes for the good, bruh.
For the good.
Hey, it's old school, new school.
Anywho.
UNDE.
Anyway.
OG Lee.
Subscribe.
Episode 40.
Subscribe.
Y tres.
43.
Heard about that low key,
I don't always drink beer.
Like, comment,
but
subscribe.
when I do,
what you do?
I prefer 43. Ahí nada más. Adiós.
Meow.
No choice but to get low. Ain't the tallest, but I'm ballin' like I'm 6'4".
Oh, yeah.